Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show. Coming up, we need more Jeff reviews, our used vehicle of the week.
Yep.
An explosive interview.
Ford's
Hot topic.
Pinto.
It's very hot topic.
Good luck in trying to find one. They've all burned up somewhere.
Well,
Conrad has the racing calendar, and the car clinic will also have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. That and more just ahead in this hour of the In Wheel Time Car Show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars down there, and King Conrad DeLong. The boys in the white shirts on today. Well, we need more Jeff Dziekan.
I thought it was going to be cold today, and I wore like 4 layers plus my heated socks. I got gloves and a stocking cap in the car, and I left the house. It was like 70 degrees. So I overdressed.
In Detroit, that's midsummer.
Yeah, really. But we're not there, are we?
Thank God.
Okay.
Howdy, I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us.
Nobody else wants to be.
On this Saturday.
Except I wouldn't mind being you. I'd like to fly around in that helicopter every now and then.
So what are you wearing today? What's your
I
ensemble?
flew 8 hours yesterday.
Did you really?
Can you imagine? You know, it doesn't take that long to fly from Hawaii to L.A. I spent 8 hours in the back of a helicopter.
I couldn't do that because I can't go that long without peeing.
Well, we did have to stop for gas a few times, needless to say.
So does he.
But you're kind of cramped in the back, aren't you?
Like, have you ever sat in the back of a Ford Mustang or a Chevy Camaro?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Well, it's like that. Yeah, I'm shoved back in there.
So
I kind of fold up to
flying
get
over?
in there. Just news,
Nothing
stuff.
special.
No, stuff going on. Bad truck accident up there in Cleveland. Actually, it was between, we'll just say Cleveland, okay? Because we stopped at the Cleveland Municipal Airport, or as I like to call it, the Cleveland Intergalactic Airport.
Wow.
To get gas, and they didn't have any. So,
Well, I heard somebody told me there was a real bad wreck out on I-10 near Beaumont.
well, I don't know
the
about
other
that,
day.
but the one on 50,
yesterday.
the one on
Yesterday.
59 up there north, going up to the East Texas Piney Woods, it involved an Amazon truck that was completely destroyed, and
saw
they
that.
somehow gathered up about 15 guys to come out there and take all of those packages and stack them all nicely in another container and haul the containers off, I guess, to
You
a
sure
sorting
they were
facility.
Amazon employees?
I don't know. They may have been. I don't know. But it was a
Protesters.
great big 18-wheeler Amazon
Yeah.
truck, so it
That
loaded
showed
up.
up.
I noticed that the tractor was several feet in front of the actual.
Yeah,
Was the
like
driver okay?
100 yards. I don't know. I didn't hear, but it was completely destroyed. All right. Well, moving on. This is a friend of ours from way back when.
Been a while since we had a chance to talk
I
to him.
know, ladies and gentlemen, from Stellantis, it's Dave Sowers. Dave, look at you. You've gotten a couple of years older since the last time I saw you, my friend.
That's encouraging.
Yeah, well,
Right at the age factor, huh?
yeah, well, yeah.
Right at it.
Dave, how have you been?
I'm doing awesome. I appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk to you guys today.
Well, it's good to see you again. And so, Dave, since I've lost touch with you, I understand that you're in the commercial vehicle side these days.
That's correct. I work for Ram Commercial Vehicles. In fact, I head up Ram Commercial Vehicles for our brand. And those very specifically would be Ram Promaster, Ram Promaster City, all of our Ram chassis cabs up through 5,500. And, of course, we do sell our pickups to commercial customers, too.
I
So
sure
all of
do
it.
see. I remember the day that, as a matter of fact, at Mars, I think that you were with us when they introduced the Ram Promaster. And we all went up there to Auburn Hills and got the full skinny on those vehicles. And we were all so impressed just by the whole vehicle itself and the fact that front-wheel drive, load floor was real low on it. The doors swung all the way open. There were so many unique features. That was many years ago. And I have to tell you, since then, you see those everywhere, those ProMasters everywhere.
Well, a number of my guys, because, we use a lot of vans, a number of my guys love their ProMasters.
Yeah, exactly. So congratulations on a job well done, I guess.
Well, yeah, thanks, Don. It's been a long road. It's been 8 years since you guys came up to Detroit and looked at those vans. And nobody knew what a Ram ProMaster was back then, but a lot of people do now. And our market share has grown pretty steadily. The usage in both vocational space and in the personal use space for those van lifers and RV type folks. It's all grown and grown over the years, and we just keep working to expand.
You know, this funny, one of those, it's a silly thing now. You don't really think about it. And I never thought about it before, but, you know, when we saw it and the headlights were up underneath the windshield. I guess they still are. I haven't really paid that close of attention to it. But one of the things that they put them up there is because they knew that there are a lot of collisions that happen up there, but they weren't major enough to dent everything, but it would always break out the headlights and that sort of thing.
Get them up out of the way.
Yeah, get them up out of the way. And, I mean, it's funny, those little nuances like that in a presentation stick with people. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that the load floor, like I mentioned before, the load floor and those headlights.
And the load floor is noticeably different, you know, because, you know, like I said, a number of them, and the ProMaster is definitely different than the rest of them in that instance.
Yeah. So I don't know who, I guess your design team came up with all that stuff, but, man, that was cutting-edge stuff 8 years ago.
You know, that still makes a lot of sense, and I guess I can't come back at you after your age because your memory seems to be pretty good.
Prevagen.
He took his meds this morning.
I didn't realize they were a sponsor of the show.
They are now.
Yeah. You're exactly right. We did design it so the headlights were up out of that impact zone. You know, 80% of these vans are used by commercial businesses, and if you bang into the edge of a loading dock or into a safety pole and you dent the bumper, you can still finish your shift. If you break your headlight out, you can't really operate it. You got to go back to the shop, and that ruins a whole shift for the business. So it's a good observation, Don, and that's something that remains true today.
So tell us more about the commercial side, which I really don't know that much about, but clearly it is a huge portion of Ram, and the fact that you guys do it differently there. I believe, are the engines still made in Italy?
In this case, no. For ProMaster, they're all made in the U.S.
Okay. And what offers do you have with the engine and the drivetrain?
There's a single powertrain offering for ProMaster. That's our Pentastar V6, a 3.6 liter. In this case, for the 22 model year ProMaster, which has been significantly revised, we get the Pentastar upgrade, which doesn't increase the output. It's an unsurpassed horsepower of 276 and a torque number of 250. But what does change is that it becomes much more efficient. It becomes much more green, and it's actually better performing because the torque comes in at a lower RPM than previously. And I guess the biggest change for 22 from a powertrain perspective is we're going from a 6-speed transmission to a 9-speed. As a matter of fact, a much more efficient 9-speed transmission.
And that Pentastar V6 is a proven power plant. It's used across the board on plenty of the vehicles in the portfolio at Stellantis, and it's been around long enough to be very, very, very dependable.
Yeah, we use it in a number of different applications, and the one that's probably most familiar is we use it in the Ram 1500 as the base engine offering paired with a rear-wheel drive 8-speed. So in this case, it's a front-wheel drive 9-speed. So it has been used. It's accumulated millions of miles of testing on our side, and many more millions of customer miles out in the autosphere.
Okay, so I've got to ask you this. This is going to be crazy. Do you have any in the press fleet?
Oh, Don, you guys are always looking for a free ride somewhere.
He knows you well.
Make it 4. Make it 4.
Yeah.
Somebody must be moving their kid to college or something. That's where we get those requests for the full-size vans.
Yeah, well, in the fall and stuff a lot. Yeah,
actually, they're just so unusual, and we rarely get anything like that. And I actually like doing them and reviewing them because there's so many nuances about these vans that most people don't know.
Yeah, it takes a lot to understand all the unique design features that have gone into it. Many, many hours and frankly, years and iterations go into the cargo area and making it an efficient place to work. You mentioned the doors that fold out 260 degrees to the side to make it easy to get in the back and out and be able to back up to loading docks or to a doorway to load the rear. And ProMaster has some unique things that you would appreciate if you had a chance to drive it, in that the low step-in height because of front-wheel drive.
Right.
It also has the tallest standard cargo height at 5 feet 6 inches, with our second roof height coming in at 6 feet 4. So, Don, you could even stand up in the back.
Yeah.
I know you're sitting down now, but I remember you as a tall guy, so you could stand up there in the back. And ProMaster is unique in how wide it is inside, 75 inches wide in the cargo area, which, that's just cubic feet to the commercial guy, but to that personal use customer, that van lifer I mentioned, that's a full-size bed side to side. No other van can do that.
Oh, wow.
So ProMaster's become very popular with that van life set as that's one of the reasons. And, you experience that when you get a chance to load it or use it. And in that case, those customers actually building their sometimes home in there.
Well,
Right.
Speaking of which, I also remember, not in great detail, but I do remember that there's some unique things on the inside of it that makes it easy for aftermarket folks and those that customize the inside of it for whatever reason, that connection points to the actual
Additional outlets, power sources.
That and the way that you connect interior panels to it. I mean, there was a lot of thought. It's like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, and we like to say in the commercial side and in the van business, there's as many uses for this vehicle as there are customers who buy it. Everyone is unique. They all have something unique about how they want to use the vehicle. And so we've got to provide the options for them to be able to do that. And we provide a number of things in addition to those physical space items I mentioned. It's how you attach things. We've got pre-drilled holes on the side reinforcements to mount things. We've got electrical connections that are now standard for high voltage rear access to power. We've got rear speaker connections that are always there to use. And we have an interface connector that allows you to tap into some of the vehicle functions, and you're not splicing wires or risking quality problems later.
So in other words, back in my day, we used to call them hippie vans. I know that you're too young of a guy to remember that, but we always wound up with some hand-me-down. And my good friend that had this particular van, hey man, we're going to fix up the van. We're going to put some shag carpet on the side.
That was
Jensen
me.
coax.
That was me. I had that.
Did you have that?
Yes.
So I'm thinking, now in today's world with financing available, I could get me a brand new one to put my lawn chairs in the back.
Well, I did propose that we institute a teardrop window and shag
Yes.
carpeting.
And a mural.
Yeah, get with one of the upfitters and say, yeah, we can upfit it just like this.
I had a buddy of mine that had a horse and a stallion mural on the side. It was yellow and orange and green. It was gorgeously ugly.
Yeah.
Well, tell us also about your retailers, because your commercial retailers are over and above just the typical Ram store as well, correct?
Yeah, that's right. It's a big country. There's a lot of customers out there to serve, and we have 2,400 Ram dealers across the country. But we've selected 1,200, about half of our dealers that are closest to most of our customers. There's in urban areas where it's more dense, we have more customers. And we have those 1,200 business link dealers who are focused on being able to serve commercial customers. And we make sure that they have the service facilities to work on these vehicles. They are quite large, they're quite tall, so you have to have a repair shop to get them inside. And sometimes if there's a plumbing van that comes in, it might weigh 9,000 pounds when it comes into the shop. You have to be able to lift that and work on it as well. So we make sure the dealers are well prepared to take care of the customer in the showroom, to be able to job rate their vehicle so that they're getting a vehicle that works for their job, and then to be able to repair it if something happens down the road. So
Well, and one of the things I notice about your Business Link customers from my day job is they have a commitment to the customer that buys that Ram commercial vehicle to turn the vehicle out of service super fast, which to your commercial customers, their vehicle makes them money. So if it's spending any time in the shop for maintenance or repair, that's losing money. And I know your Business Link service dealers really commit to getting the vehicle back to them. So that upper level of customer service is pretty important to your commercial customers.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I'll bring it back to a conversation you guys were having before I came on the air, and that's around chip shortages. And, with the shortage of vehicles in the marketplace today, it's more important for businesses to keep the ones that they have in their fleet up and running. You can't go out and get a replacement vehicle very easily, and there's not extra ones hanging around. So we got to be able to keep the ones that are there on the road. And that is a tenet of our Business Link program with our dealers, is that we will service that commercial customer first.
Right.
I can always take a personal use customer who's got a sedan or a minivan and give them a loaner vehicle that meets all their needs. But if that plumber I mentioned comes in with 9,000 pounds worth of tools, it's not easy for him to take another vehicle and go work on the work site or in someone's home. So we need to get his van with his equipment fixed as soon as possible.
Well, I will tell you that I was thoroughly impressed with the Ram Promaster, although I haven't had one out of the press fleet yet.
And, we'll work on it.
Please do. That was my next question was going to be, and I know that you can't comment on future product, but I assume with this relook at all of the design elements of the ProMaster that electrical has got to be something in the near future. Have you announced anything when it comes to electrification?
We have, and we had a press release and more information that came out in August of last year. And, with everything that's going on with COVID, we didn't have you guys back into Detroit. We didn't invite a bunch of press in again, just due to, that the pandemic situation and trying to be responsible. But when we sent that information out about 22, we did include a little bit of a hint in regarding our electrification in the future. And we said at the time that we will have a BEV version, a battery electric version of the ProMaster in 23, and that's still true. So, that's good information for everybody that's out there. It's the direction where the industry's going in. It's the right thing to do, and frankly, this is a very good segment for electrification to take hold, because a lot of these users in this segment have very defined routes. They return to a central location most nights, and those things are conducive to electrification. So we think we'll be able to, both on the large fleet side and on the small business side, make some inroads with electrification.
So what is the newest thing that you want to tout with the ProMaster today?
Well, when we sent that press release back in August, the meat of it was really around the 22 model year, which we're just starting production a little bit later this month. And that was to really up our game in three ways. And that was from technology and safety, and then also efficiency. So we talked a little bit about the efficiency part already. With the engine upgrades and the 9-speed transmission, the 22 model is going to have about a 10% fuel economy increase, almost big. 10% year over year. That's remarkable.
Yeah,
that's big. Yep.
And for commercial customers who accumulate 50, 60,000 miles a year or more, that can mean big savings to them.
Yes.
So that was a big thing for 22. The other thing was technology. And we didn't change the exterior appearance of the van for 22, but a lot changed under the skin. And we got a whole new electrical architecture, which will help us support all the safety features that we're bringing in, all the technology we're bringing in, and eventually we'll support that battery electric vehicle as well.
Right. Well, it sounds great. Again, I can't wait to get one in the press fleet. I have to tell you that I had, not that long ago, I guess in the past year, Mercedes-Benz offered me a van.
I remember that.
And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I actually got thumbs up with that crazy yellow van that they supplied me with. So I'm not
the short school bus.
Yes, the short school bus. That's exactly. But I will tell you, I'm not expecting it to be yellow in color. White would be fine. But I do. I have to call Kimberly and say we talked, and you promised that there would be one in the press.
Four of them.
I'm going to order one with pink shag carpeting on the outside.
We'll take it.
Dave, we love you. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's great to see you, to talk to you. Y'all stay warm up there now, heading into winter, and have a great Thanksgiving.
Thanks, guys. Great to be on today.
Thank you.
you much.
Talk to you soon.
Have fun.
Yeah, that business link thing and the dealer's commitment to the owner about turning the vehicle back is a huge benefit for owning a ProMaster product.
You know, I have to tell you that one of the things comes to mind is the fact that we have had a relationship with the fine folks out there, now Stellantis, but with Dodge, Ram, Jeep, all of them under the umbrella, that it's just a different vibe when you get to know these people, and they're so much fun, and they're all in this at big time.
It's family. It's a family.
Yeah.
You get that feeling of family. And I like what he said with you can plug and play certain things with stereos and electronics and hippie van. That struck me.
The hippie van.
The hippie van.
It struck me.
I'll tell you what, it would be the ultimate hippie van. There's no doubt about it. All right, time now for the racing calendar. Pretty much wound down.
The racing season is kind of wound down.
Yay.
Erica Enders, she didn't win, but she was within one round of winning her 5th championship. And then, NASCAR's done for the season, though they are now testing the next generation cars. Formula One is going to be running tomorrow in Qatar, and then on December 5th, they're going to be in Saudi Arabia, and then on December 12th, the finale at Abu Dhabi. IMSA, they finished last weekend. Cadillac won the DPI championship.
Certainly did.
Just by the
Hair of your chinny chin chin.
Just by the heated seat.
Corvette won the GTLM championship, and that ends GTLM, and Corvette has announced that they are going to do a GT3 program, which means that they are going to probably have customer cars. Corvette racing here in the United States has basically been Chevrolet and 2 cars for so long. Now they're going to be selling customer cars, and I'm sure they're going to expand into Europe with the customer cars as well. IndyCar is finished. One thing I did want to mention, and this is, again, our friends out at the Hemi Hideout. If you've never been there, it is an automotive bucket place to go.
Oh, yes.
So Tuesday, November 23rd, they have invited people, if you've got family in town, make your reservation to join them for a tour of the Hemi Hideout. The tour is going to be between 1 and 2:30 p.m. It's a $10 donation that John matches to give to charities there in the Brookshire area. And no one under the age of 12, but make your reservation at 713-825-2555 with your guest count and get a chance to bring some of your family that came in to visit for Thanksgiving a tour of the Hemi Hideout.
And if you haven't gone, go, because it's really remarkable. It really is.
You won't find another place like it.
No.
Well, that's for sure. All right, time now for this hour's car review.
Okay.
And Jeffrey
You
Dziekan.
can just hold it right there.
Jeffrey Dziekan has a review of the Ford Pinto.
Yes, the Ford Pinto. And those of us that are old enough to know, and then some of us are young that don't know.
Let me just throw this in there.
Sure.
When I got married to the mother of my children, she had a baby blue 2-door Ford Pinto.
I think we might have a photo of that.
And I will tell you that it had a water pump that was going out on it, and I made the wrong decision of replacing it. Mr. Nice Guy,
Yeah.
right?
But that makes sense because you replaced her eventually.
And you were pumpless after that.
Well, at any rate, the water pump was about 1/4 of an inch from the radiator, and I had a bloody hand. After I got
rubbing
done.
the radiator.
Oh yeah. Every time you hit the bolt one round, there was more blood, and it was brutal. But I got it replaced. The dummy that I was.
Well, one good thing about this weekend is I'm not working on a Corvette, so that's a good thing.
You don't know that yet.
I know.
Yeah,
all right, so
still
getting
early.
back to it, because I'm just going to did some research on this. I'm just going to tell you those that do know and those that don't know. The Ford Pinto was a subcompact car that was manufactured and marketed by Ford Motor Company in North America from 1971 to 1980. The Pinto was the first subcompact vehicle produced by Ford in North America. The Pinto was marketed in 3 body styles, which the production of the 2-door fastback sedan with a trunk, the 3-door hatchback, and a 2-door station wagon, which I still like to this day. Mercury offered a rebadged version of the Mercury Bobcat. that was built in Canada, and then there were millions of Pintos produced. This next part is really the culmination of what really happened in a nutshell. There you go, right there. That's a good picture, Don. Initial planning for the Pinto began in the summer of 19...
What do you mean, Don?
Well, you
They
said...
look kind of like you there in the picture there going, ah!
That is me.
The initial planning began in 1967 and was recommended by Ford Production Planning Committee in December of 68. It was approved by the board of directors of 69, and Ford's president, Lee Iacocca, wanted a 1971 model that weighed under 2,000 pounds that could be priced less than $2,000. In today's dollars, it's around 14 grand. The Pinto was product development from conception through delivery was completed in 25 months and the auto industry average of 43 months. Now, what you told me earlier and what you discussed was that the tooling. Tooling is generally you get a design, you send it over to tooling, and then tooling takes their time to make the tools for it. This was done in conjunction. So they were doing the tooling as they were building the car.
As they were designing the car.
Right. Well, designing and then eventually building, because that was the next step. So the average is 43 months. This was the shortest production schedule in automotive history at the time. Some development processes usually conducted sequentially were conducted in a parallel. In other words, here it is, give me a tool, I'm going to use it right now. So that was what it was. Decisions that threatened the schedule were discouraged. The attitude of Ford management was to develop the Ford Pinto as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Don't move that gas tank. Leave it where it is.
Aha.
Even though it blows up, kills people, yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people called it Lee's car because Lee Iacocca was an influence in that. But the culmination of this is between 71 and 78, the Pinto was responsible for a number of fire-related deaths, as you see in the presentation here. Ford put the figure at 23. Its critics said there was closer to 500. According to the sworn testimony of Ford engineers, 95% of the fatalities would have survived if
they
Ford
got out.
located the fuel tank above, over the axle, as it was done in the Capri automobiles. NHTSA, National Highway Transportation Safety, 30-mile-an-hour collisions in 76. They put that in there. That's why we have the bumper safety. But on August 10th, and I'm going to wrap this up, Don, 1978, 18-year-old Julie Ulrich, her 16-year-old sister Lynn, and an 18-year-old cousin Donna in their 73 Ford Pinto were struck from the rear of the van by a van in Elkhart, Indiana. The gas tank of the Pinto exploded. The fire was a result of the three teenagers were burned to death.
Yikes.
Now, Ford did not take responsibility. They were sued, and the end of it was that the court system did not have any liability for Ford. Ford was out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know. But, you know, think about that.
a
Lee
happy
Iacocca, what are some of the cars he brought into Ford? Mustang,
Yep.
Bronco, Pinto.
Mm-hmm. I did actually rear-end a Pinto. I was with
Nice.
my brother-in-law in my Monza, and we were coming back from the auto parts store.
In
and
my Monza.
In my Monza, and we rear-ended one. Yes.
Time to take a
Don't know
break.
which one's worse.
Hey, the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available on your favorite podcast channel. In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break.
Hey, Houston, it's back! America's greatest hot rod tradition is on Thanksgiving weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center. 4 days of hot rods, customs, classics, trucks, and performance cars featuring the ultimate lowrider showcase. Sponsored by Shorty's Hydraulics and the Traditional Rod Garage. Saturday only, it's the Tuner Galleria with 250 imports, JDM, and luxury cars, plus music and models. Autorama. It's so much more than a car show. On the celebrity stage, presented by Nick's Auto Repair and Classic Car Restoration, it's Chip Foose from TV's Overhauling on Friday and wrestling superstar Sting on Sunday. Shop the swap meet and women's world all weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama. November 25th to 28th at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series. See Autorama.com.
Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly cruise-in, will return Saturday, December 18th to the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Tailpipes and Tacos wants to thank all of the participants and fans who have enjoyed the collector cars, hot rods, customs, originals, and resto mods, and everything in between. We'll be taking a break for Thanksgiving and Autorama, but we'll be back for a great Christmas cruise-in on December 18th, so make plans now. You know that Tailpipes and Tacos is the Houston area's coolest cruise-in, a place you'll see friends, family, and the finest cruise-in cars in the Houston area. It all happens at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Get your ride ready for a very special Christmas cruise-in, Lupi style. It's Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, December 18th. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Let's celebrate the Christmas season together at the next Tailpipes and Tacos on December 18th. We'll see you then, weather permitting.
Gulf Coast Auto Shield has moved to a more convenient location. Now you can visit John Gray and his staff of dedicated professionals at their new shop on the South Sam Houston Parkway between Belford and Airport in Southwest Houston. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is the best at paint correction and ceramic coatings. Clear bras and custom wraps are specialties that only Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs with award-winning accuracy, and all their services come with a warranty. Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Porsche, and Ferrari owners depend on Gulf Coast Auto Shield for their specialty services, and you should too. The In-Wheel Time Corvette and Cutlass have both been massaged by Gulf Coast Auto Shield, so isn't it time your vehicle visit their new shop in Southwest Houston? Call John Gray today at 832-930-5655 or visit online at gcautoshield.com. That's gcautoshield.com. Paint, coatings, wraps, and more at gcautoshield.com.